Hi, welcome to the Buzzin Pattaya show here on Buzzin Pattaya, and joining me is Martin from Cornerstone Real Estate Agents, who is going to help us through the show. As you know, if you want to come and see Martin, their office is located opposite Big C in Pattaya Dai. So come down and say hello. How are you doing today, Martin?
Really good, thank you, for a Monday morning. Not bad at all.
You're looking good, mate. You're looking sharp. Fair play. All right, so firstly, I want to say thank you to everybody who commented, and also thank you to you, Martin, for taking the time to reply. It's been brilliant. So today we're going to talk about rentals, and we've had a lot of questions coming in, and I'd like to go through those with you. So the first question in general, I mean, let's talk about rentals in general. I mean, what kind of things is really something that they need to be thinking about, and what would your first top tip be in terms of rentals?
Okay, the first top tip really would be to spend some time just to come into our office, and just 20 minutes of your time, we can go through all the different properties that are of interest to you. Things like Facebook and Instagram, I mean, they're great tools. It gives you instantly on phones and computers,
Sure.
you know, pretty pictures, you know, and a few price ranges and everything else. But with that, try and come to the office. You know, there's no pressure at all, but we can discuss all the different screenshots or listings
Sure.
that you've seen, and actually talk about them, rather than meeting up and then just going straight out in a car and you know, arriving at a village and like, oh, I don't like this straight away, or I don't like this. We can talk to them, or talk to you guys, you know, about the pros and the cons of each different listing. You know, some people look at an image and they say that's really great. We go to the condo, it's on the 25th floor, and they're scared of heights.
Yeah, sure.
You
So
know,
I suppose,
so it just really reduces all of that time that could be wasted.
sure.
Going to,
And I guess when
ideas.
someone comes in, I mean, obviously, like you've just said then, and that makes perfect sense, is, you know, okay, so what are you looking for? Do you want a busy area? Do you want a quiet area? Do you want to be in town? Do you have transport? I mean, I guess all those kind of things are really apparent, and I suppose probably sometimes often overlooked.
Yes, they are. You know, having or being able to ask questions about, you know, where is something located, you know, dogs, chickens, motorbikes racing up the street. But also you've got to understand that when we do the marketing, you know, we pick the best 6, 7 or 8 images to really make the impact.
Sure.
You know, we've got a whole file of maybe 30, 40 or 50 images that, you know, sometimes show not the negative, but, you know, the more basic things. So again, we can go through images, you know, like 20, 30 or 40 images to make sure that it's right. You know, we're good on Google Earth as well, so again we can literally pin all the different areas.
Oh, wow, really good.
And then again, just grab
So
the man.
is what you're really trying to tell me then, that no one actually comes and says, I've seen this toilet picture and it really looks nice, can I view the rest of the property?
Not quite like that. Like I said, the toilets don't normally make it. But,
Do they not? Oh, okay. No. Isn't that where we spend a lot of our time?
Okay, that's true.
True. All right. Okay. So come in, you know, if you are looking at a rental property, come and have a chat with Martin or with John, and you know, they've got years and years of experience here, and you can ask all the questions you want. And like you said, Martin, you know, it's 20 minutes of your time that could be saving you hours and hours of driving around.
Save days and weeks. It really could, because you know, you get more of a, again, it's a virtual tour. You know,
sure.
we can put you in place, you know, on the road, digitally. You know, we've got all the images to show, you know, the whole exterior of the house, the village, the communal facilities, and again, you know, we can really sort of save the time, hit 3, 4 or 5 really good properties. You know, hopefully one of those really should be perfect if we've done our job right.
So if you are going to come in, one of the questions I want to ask you, Martin, is if I'm going to come in now and I want to sit down with you, I mean, what are the sort of 3 or 4 main key points I need to have in my head in terms of when I sit down with you? So I mean, obviously, like the first one is what you can afford. I mean, what are the key things that you need people to tell you in order for you to, like you say, go through the virtual tours and bring up all the best properties?
Sure. I mean, obviously we will ask all the necessary questions. So obviously under a meet and greet, again, it's so much easier. But you know, how big is the family? You know, things like transport. A lot of people look at saying, okay, I want to be sort of in the centre of town, but then realising that, you know, East Pattaya, for example, it's only 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah. Sometimes you can see, you know, something in Jomtien, but Jomtien Bay is a long way away. Yes. So we'll talk about, you know, where do you go? You know, the restaurants, the shopping malls, or what is your daily activity? Children, you know, obviously then you've got got to consider schools and locations for that. Pets is another good one, even if you don't necessarily have a pet right now. Is that something that you may be planning for the future?
Yeah, because I guess that quite a lot of properties, well, obviously condos, I know you can't have
condos were no effectively.
Yeah.
I mean, people do slide them in, but that's obviously a
But
risk.
I mean, obviously for houses, especially like over on the dark side, East Pattaya, sorry, as it's the modern name.
Yeah.
But the houses, there are some landlords that will allow you to have pets, and obviously there are some that won't. And I guess that's something they have to be thinking about before you commit pen to paper.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, obviously, sort of mini little dogs are becoming quite a fashion. So a lot of the owners are kind of acceptable for a dog up to a sort of certain size.
Sure.
But yeah, if you've got like 4 pit bulls, then we need to be able to ask the owner. Again, they stay outside, they can be in cages, but maybe some owners are more protective of their next door neighbours and things. So yeah.
All right, brilliant. Okay, so tip number 1 then is just have a think about what you're looking for in terms of the property, and then just come in. There's plenty of parking here. Come in, speak to Martin, speak to John, or any of the team here. They're all very experienced and they can help you out. And as Martin says, 20 minutes sat in here, no hard sales, no pressure sales, just 20 minutes, come and have a general chat, and it may save you hours and hours of walking around. Okay, so tip number 2, and this is something that I think I'm guilty of. You go into a property and you think, this is it. This is the one, and you put pen to paper straight away, and then you walk out the door, you're happy, you go down the road and you're like, look at that place. I mean, I guess try and be a bit more like relaxed and not commit straight away, look at lots of places.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, that's what we are in business to do, is to listen to clients' requirements, understand them, and then, go out for a whole afternoon sometimes, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 properties. Again, as long as, we should know that everything that we're going to look for hits the requirements. But yeah, go take your time. I mean, don't waste your time, but take your time getting into each one. Don't feel bad about walking around the garden for a second time. Go through
I think one of the other things as well. I mean, as certainly someone from England, it's that saying no, isn't it? It's that uncomfortable part. Do you like it? I don't really want to say no. It's quite difficult, isn't it?
To be honest with you, I mean, it's not a trick or a trait, but we're not the owners of these properties.
Sure.
Okay. Obviously, we're talking about owners as well in this respect that if you don't like something, normally you can tell within 30 seconds to a minute. So I would even let my clients know if you don't like the property, just give me some kind of signal early on that you don't like it, and then we will obviously make our gracious exits and move on to the next place. You don't need to walk around feeling obviously guilty to the owner and spend 15 minutes. We can move on.
There you go. See, you're going to get a secret handshake or a wink, and that'll be it. Martin will say,
it's normally my
okay, brilliant. One of the things I do want to ask, I know that it's going to be a hot topic out there, and people, please, if you had an experience like this, let us know. Speak to Martin and his team. But the one thing I want to speak to you about, and what I'm going to say to you, is deposits, because it is a really difficult area, and I appreciate I am putting you on the spot slightly because, from my limited knowledge, you've got there's guys that have got houses that have got 5 houses or less than 5 houses and can charge 3 months. So, I mean, it's a minefield. I mean, how do we get through this? Over to you.
Yeah, cheers for that one. I mean, this is right in the deep end. To narrow it down, or to put it in a nutshell, obviously there are private owners that own their private properties. It's their decision whether they rent it to you or not. Yes, there have been documents to say that it's now a 1 month deposit instead of obviously the common 2. But when you read through, it's more aiming, as far as I can read through the lines, to guest houses or people that own more than 5 properties. Again, private residents, it's almost difficult to understand whether these owners do own more than 5 properties. To be fair, in the first place, but. Basically, it's 2 months deposit, 1 month's rent in advance.
Okay, brilliant.
If you can get it for less, great, but it's really the owner's decision whether they want to accept that or not. I would say that it's quite high in the percentages, 80-90% really, they're waiting for a 2 month deposit. Some people do get it, but of course that good news travels fast. One person out of 50 or 100. So 2 months deposit, 1 month rent in advance, and then obviously if you can get it for any less, fantastic.
Okay, brilliant. Well, there you go. So if you are unsure, again, get in touch with Martin, ask him, and they'll help you out. Now, something I do want to talk to you guys about is, why would you come here and use Martin and Cornerstone for a rental. And I want to say this through personal experience. So Martin doesn't know what I'm saying here, so he's sitting there thinking, what's he going to say? But I want to say this from personal experience. If you deal direct with a homeowner, you are potentially putting yourself in a bit of a sticky situation if something goes wrong. And I want to just tell you an example. I had a leaky roof. The roof collapsed, destroyed loads of stuff in the particular room where the roof collapsed, and I had a real minefield. One of the things I think coming here and speaking to yourself, Martin, and dealing with a real estate company as opposed to going on your own, is there is this intermediary, isn't it? So you can act as like an intermediate. Doesn't mean we're going to get a better result,
no,
but at least, you know, it gives us someone to talk to that perhaps can help us out in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, from experience and 12, 13, 14 years experience, a lot of the time, if the owner will deal with an agent, they seem to be a slightly better landlord, if that's the phrase. You know, they know that we're going to also be on their case as well as the tenant. So you know, if there is an issue, the tenant contacts us. We'll be the ones, obviously, helping the owner to rectify it. We've got our own contacts, different teams for air conditioning, you know, woodwork, metalwork, plumbing. So
it's like being back at school, isn't it? Hey, what's your lesson today? Woodwork.
I can't do it.
I'm useless. I'm absolutely useless.
Yeah, no, I've got phone numbers, but the owners tend to understand, and I'm not going to say that they're better than anything else, but they know that when you're getting everybody else, an agent involved, that we're also going to put pressure on that owner as well as the tenant.
Yeah.
So I believe that we get better results than a tenant directly dealing with an owner, because we've just got a little bit of weight. We can word things better. You know, we can speak various languages. So again, depending on the owner, you know, we're dealing with them in their own language as well.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for clearing that up. And as I say, I speak from personal experience, and it wasn't
That was a surprise one.
It wasn't a good time for me, I can assure you. So,
No.
all right, okay. So we're nearing at the end of the show. I just want to ask you one last question in terms of, now you've got some really good properties for rent, which we're going to put the links in the description below. I mean, what kind of price range do these properties range from?
I mean, obviously we're going to put 3 on there, so they're going to be a house, a condominium, and then something else that I choose at my discretion. I mean, right now we're in COVID, so there are owners that are understanding that potentially until maybe sort of middle of next year or whatever, the amount of people travelling in are limited. I mean, people can only give away their property to a certain degree. You know, that there has been bad news over the last couple of years, but people are now a little bit more understanding. Let's get it occupied for a year.
Sure.
There's definitely 3 good ones.
All right. Okay, so that's it from us here today on the Buzzin Pattaya Property Show. Thank you so much, Martin, for your time. As always, it's been a pleasure.
Pleasure again.
So there you go. Now, please remember, in the description below, you will find the 3 links to the properties that Martin has just discussed. And if you've got a property that you want to rent out, again, you know, come and see Martin and his team. And if you're looking for a rental, again, come and see Martin and his team. It's very easy to find. It's opposite Big C on Pattaya Dai. You can't miss it. So come and say hello. And who knows? Maybe Martin and his team can help you out. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching the Buzzin Pattaya Property Show. Please remember, hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when we bring out a new video. And we will be back in 2 weeks' time to sit down with Martin, and this time we're going to talk about sales. So I'm looking forward to that.
Time, yeah.
All right, thanks very much for watching. Have a great day wherever you are, and stay safe.